TAO Bittensor has been on an absolute tear, doing almost 100% in the last 30 days, and the AI narrative continuing to explode globally. This is a crypto project you've got to be keeping your eye on. The problem is that most people still don't even know what it does. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you what that is. I'm going to explain why it has me so bullish and why it's been getting so much attention, and why the new Subnet 3 development has top executives like Jensen Huang talking about it. So if you want to find out more, throw me a like down below and let's get into today's video. Now, TAO has been getting a lot of attention lately. If you come across the coin market cap, you can see that from the lows back in February, we're up almost 100%. We touched about 282 for almost 100% gain from the lows down in February. AI tokens have been getting a lot of attention lately. And when you see moves like this, you have to ask yourself, is this just another hype cycle, or is there actually something substantial here? So we're going to dive in and find out what it is exactly that caused this surge in price, and if this is something we should still be excited about moving forward. Now, the AI sector in general has been getting a lot of bullish momentum, and it's been something that even back last year and the year before, we saw getting a lot of attention. A lot of people got excited about AI, and it's not just a temporary trend. It's becoming one of the biggest technological themes in the world. You have companies like NVIDIA, OpenAI, Anthropic pushing the frontier models, and massive amounts of capital flowing into AI infrastructure. So when crypto starts looking for the next big narrative and it's looking for capital to rotate, AI stands out as probably one of the most sensible options for money to flow. Now, what's important to understand is that the bull case for AI and crypto is that if AI can become part of the foundational economy, then crypto projects that are pushing that technology forward to distribute, incentivize, or monetize AI could end up capturing some of that value. But the problem is that most AI tokens in crypto are weak. Most of them don't actually deliver anything unique, and they're just riding the coattails. A lot of AI fluff, a lot of vaporware, a lot of partnerships that don't really exist. And for those of you who were around in 2023, 2024, or for maybe some of you who watched maybe one too many Alex Becker videos, I think you know what I'm talking about. So we have to be sure not to fall for another hype narrative and end up getting rinsed, but that is where TAO stands out, because Bittensor is actually trying to do something much more ambitious than just attaching the letters AI to a token. Now, what Bittensor is trying to do is they're trying to create a decentralized market for intelligence. It's really the simplest way to understand it. So instead of an AI company like OpenAI or Anthropic building an AI model behind closed doors and charging you to walk through that door and use their product, Bittensor is choosing to build their network out in the open on a decentralized platform where everybody can contribute and everybody can participate in not only creating the AI, but also helping it function smoothly. And this is how participants get rewarded based on the traditional miner and validator models. But they've taken it and they've tweaked it just a little bit. You see, the miners aren't using compute to validate the network by doing complex math problems. They're helping build the infrastructure, they're helping build the network by generating or creating AI models. Then the validators are the actual people who test those models out. They're not a person going in there, but they'll run a program on their computer that essentially tests the AI to see if it can function smoothly. Those that do function smoothly reward the creators, and those who run the tests that validate that smooth performance end up getting tokens in return. And this is something that NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is actually advocating for. He thinks that this is the next stage or the optimal stage of AI when you're seeing proprietary models that are also open source. And he actually recently had a conversation with Chamath Palihapitiya, did I say that right? And they're actually pretty bullish on TAO.
I believe we fundamentally need models as a first-class product, proprietary product, as well as models as open source.
And so TAO already holding up in the eyes of Jensen Huang, and I'm going to show you the rest of this clip in a second, but what's important for you to understand is that TAO is not trying to create another decentralized marketplace. They're trying to understand if the intelligence itself can become the market. And so as I mentioned earlier, the way that this works is that the miner is the person who creates the AI, sends it out to see if it can contribute and add to the open source model. The validator is the one who runs the AI program to see if that model is worth incorporating or not. So you have the validators essentially judging the miners to see if what they're bringing to the network is worthy. And so this is the flywheel. This is why people get excited about TAO. And so in theory, if the network is rewarding good intelligence, then more builders will want to participate and will grow the network. And that establishes network effects, which I'll get onto here in a second. More builders means more competition. More competitions mean more models, and more models means a more robust network. And so if the network grows, more capital, more attention, more participants flood into the network, and you have a better chance of actually producing a quality AI, which is what they actually recently did. And this is what Chamath was talking with Jensen Huang about. TAO actually developed, it's called the Subnet 3, and this is what caused a big rally in the TAO price recently. And if you caught it, congratulations to you. And if you haven't, keep an eye for the new developments that are always coming. And so this is the development that Chamath and Jensen Huang were talking about. The Subnet 3 is a llama, basically kind of a large language model that they developed on TAO. So they ran 72 billion parameters, not something that's at the same level of ChatGPT, but conceptually the same thing that ChatGPT or Anthropic has built. That's a pretty big deal. And what has people excited is that this development financially incentivizes people to continue building the network and therefore generating more value for token holders. So let's talk about Subnet 3. What is it? Why is it exciting? And why does it mean good news for Bittensor holders? I'm going to show you this clip I've been talking about from Chamath and Jensen Huang. They talked about this on the All In podcast. Have a listen.
2 days ago, you may not have seen this because you were busy on stage, but there was a training run that happened in this crypto project called Bittensor. Subnet 3, they managed to train a 4 billion parameter llama model, totally distributed, with a bunch of people contributing excess compute. But they were able to do it statefully and manage a training run, which I thought was like a pretty crazy technical accomplishment.
Yeah.
Because it's like random people and
Yeah.
each person gets a little
Yeah.
share.
Our modern version of folding at home.
And so TAO accomplished something that really validates the AI crypto space. It's almost kind of like what crypto gaming was looking to achieve, that they could run a big game on blockchain and have it work. I'm not sure they ever fully got there, but this, I think, brings AI crypto closer to that goal of proving validity, that you could run a serious AI in a decentralized manner, having participants from all around the world contribute to it and create something meaningful. And this incentivizes more people to come and build. And so I think that's why you saw the rush of attention. Maybe it's just a hype cycle for now, but structurally, as you move down the line, you're going to see more builders, a broader network, and subsequently that means more fundamental value for the TAO token. And so I want to be clear, this isn't TAO reaching the finish line. Now it's this huge important thing, but it's a meaningful step. And it's bringing us closer to showing that it's proof of concept, essentially. And that's kind of what Chamath told us, is that, hey, this isn't, they didn't do it, but, conceptually, technically, that's a pretty significant achievement. And it really is. And what I think is important to understand is that these big players are considering it seriously enough to compare it to established computing concepts. And so this will help move people's minds in terms of thinking of this as just maybe some bespoke, maybe kind of niche experiment into an actual serious technological framework. And so Jensen Huang compared it to folding at home, which is basically almost like Bittensor for science. Just a lot of people on the community working together to solve or address scientific problems. So he kind of likened it to that. And again, when you have Jensen Huang making those connections, they don't do so lightly. They choose their words very carefully. And so this gives a lot of credibility to the Bittensor network. And so I think why this news generated so much attention and hype for TAO, and why I think this is going to be a very important project to keep an eye on moving forward, is because they're establishing network effects. And so if you look on your screen, this is Metcalfe's law, basically telling you that the value of a network is proportional to the square of the number of users. And this is how I look at layer ones. If I'm looking at Ethereum or Sui or Solana or whatever else, what I'm looking at is how many users are there, and that network gains value based on the amount of users. It's not just because of what they're doing. It's not how much money they generate. You look at companies like Facebook or Instagram or X, some of these companies aren't terribly profitable, but what's valuable is the network. the network of people, just the very notion that billions of people could be connected to this thing makes it valuable. So when you're looking at TAO and you're seeing these big accomplishments, you're seeing big names talking about it, you're seeing more development happening on chain, that's showing you that fundamentally, structurally, the value of the network is rising. And that is something to pay attention to. That's fundamentals in crypto. And it's hard to find those. It's hard to find fundamentals. And think back to earlier in the video when I talked about, I don't want to name any to call them out, but some of these AI tokens, you look at all the way at they say all the way of a Google partnership. It's like they use Google Cloud services and they have a Google partnership. Like, give me a break. Or that, we have a partnership with NVIDIA because they lent you like an NVIDIA chip to do it with, or and something, these egregious things. Like, a lot of people honestly wrecked the last, like, in the last bull run that we had, 24, 25, a lot of people got wrecked on AI tokens because they were not looking at the fundamentals, not looking at the actual usage and value prop of the network. And this is where TAO, I think, really stands out. And with that in mind, I want to tell you about some of the risks here because it's not all good news. No project is perfect. And I don't want you to go away and say, oh, Frank, you told me to buy this. CryptoRant told me to buy Bittensor and it goes down. And then you come for me with the pitchforks in the comments section. Let's go over some of the risks. The first risk is that the system is still internally driven. So the rewards are flowing because the network itself is incentivizing participation. What does that mean? It means that if that incentivization stops, or if people stop participating, well, then the value of the network is going to fall because, again, it's dependent on the number of users. So while this can be a bullish thing, more people, more value. On the other hand, if it loses that momentum, if it loses that participation, then the value will fall. So that's a risk you have to be aware of, and you have to keep up with that if you're going to invest, which I'm not telling you to do. The second risk here is that the way the validators judge the AI, because remember, the validators of the network, they're using AI to judge AI. And so what could happen is that you could have validators running models optimizing for whatever gets rewarded as opposed to what is actually genuinely useful. And that's kind of like a loophole. So like, well, we'll say that this AI model is useful. We'll say that it's good, but in reality, we're just saying that so that we can get our TAO tokens and cash out. That's something that very well could happen. But I think as the network proliferates and expands, the likelihood of that, I think, decreases. So we've gone over a lot. We have TAO, which is an AI crypto token. It is gaining adoption and it's getting attention from some of the world's biggest AI executives and personalities. We have a flywheel effect that can take place, but we also have risks that could be there as well. Does seem to have substance, but it has a little bit more to go before it establishes itself, I think, as a full-blown, this is here to stay. Like some other, like maybe like Ethereum or Solana, I think have established themselves. I'm not sure TAO has done that yet, but I think with the latest Subnet 3 model, they've actually done that. They've achieved something that I think that not many people can say that they could really ever do. And so I hope this video made sense for you. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what TAO does, why I'm bullish on it, and what you need to know if you're going to consider buying this token. Again, I'm not telling you to do that, but if you decide to, I hope this video can help you in that decision. If you appreciated the video and all the research that went into this, I would love you forever. If you subscribe down below, also leave me a comment and let me know if you learned anything. Are you bullish on TAO? Do you think Subnet 3 is a big accomplishment, or do you think it's just another hyped up AI narrative token? In either case, thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.